I got a bunch of new Benchmade knives here. Some of these are out. Some of these actually aren't even out yet. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at these. We're gonna do an unboxing. We'll put them through a little bit of a torture test each. And then at the end, I'll give you my final thoughts of what I think about them. Keep in mind though, guys, these are still in the box. I clearly haven't used a ton of these yet. And unlike other people who review knives, I'm not gonna say, yep, this is the best knife ever after playing around with it for 1 hour. Time tells on knives, and keep that in mind when you're looking at it. But anyways, I'm just kind of excited to open these up. Let's get into it. So first up, let's look at the Benchmade Dayhiker. This is this year's new model of this guy. And I'm actually pretty stoked because I really liked the first one. As we can see, we have a Scout Carry design sheath. It's got leather on the outside. And I think on the inside, it's not Kydex, it's called Bolteron, I do believe. I'm not too familiar with that. And there is the actual blade itself. Magna cut steel, micarta handles, and some pretty decent brass inserts on that guy. Got some jimping on the spine. Overall, looks like a pretty nice little knife. This is the last year's model. As you can see, you kind of have the regular plastic style sheath on this guy. And people didn't really, I liked this sheath, but a lot of people didn't because you can hear that rattle and it didn't feel like super secured, even though I never really had any problems with this. And on this guy, we obviously fixed the rattle. The only thing I don't really love about this sheath is now you have to carry Scout Carry. And I'm not a big fan of Scout Carry myself, but it does feel a lot more secure and it does feel a lot more premium. I do also like the fact on this new Dacian that we have kind of like a more blue micarta, where on the old ones it was pretty black, but still relatively the same knife. As you can see, I've got some wear and tear on this guy. I've used him quite a bit. It's actually not a bad little blade, so I suspect this one will also be not too bad. Time to torture test this guy. I really don't want to because I don't have a whole lot of faith in that tip not breaking off. Now we're gonna do some stuff this knife was not designed to do, and it kind of breaks my heart because there's a good chance we're gonna break this, but we gotta see. So first off, batoning level 1. I mean, that went through it. That's a piece of, that's, you know, I'm kind of surprised honestly. And that is actually a piece of diamond willow, which is hardwood. Going up to level 2, pretty substantially thick for this size of knife. Let's see if it'll go through it. You know, this knife is designed as like a little utility blade. I mean, it went through. Last up for batoning, I got this really knotted up piece of tamarack, which is the hardest wood I have in my area. I have to stick off to the side on this guy because it's so small compared to the size of wood. It won't just make it all the way through, but well, that's actually surprising. As you can see, we did go right through a knot right there. The edge is fine. I'll show you here. No edge problems whatsoever. Still actually super sharp. Let's see if it can feather stick at all. Yeah, it's actually getting pretty good shavings off this guy. I should say shavings rather than feather stick. See if we can get some shavings going. That's actually not too bad, but now you gotta see if it can actually light a fire. You can see here, that's all right. Of course, I just threw the shavings everywhere because I'm not very good at stuff. Those, I mean, it's going. It's starting to, oh. All right, it's going now. The jimping does not help with the fire steel at all. It kind of actually makes it a little bit of a nuisance for that. But we got a fire going, so can't really knock it too hard. So the last test that I want to do on this guy is to see if it'll take down like a medium-sized sapling, because this is actually targeted as a ranch hand knife. So we want to see if this will actually do that by batoning through that. Oh, man, guys, look at this. Look how clean that went through. Like, no problem at all. And again, no edge problems. I always liked the Dacian. It got some hate because of the sheath, but I actually really like this knife. So next up, let's grab this guy. This is the new 940 Osborne. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually always wanted an Osborne, so I already took this guy out of the case. But check that guy out. Got awesome action on this guy. M390 steel, which as you guys know is a super steel. Just super great detail on this guy. I really hope we don't break this today, because I actually want to keep this as kind of like an everyday carry kind of knife. Just really nice. And like, just fidgety as heck. All right, that same piece of hardwood, let's give it a go. It's already cut in half, but this is also a folding knife. It's going. Yeah, I mean, it baton, and for a folder, that's actually not bad. Let's see if it'll go through the pine. This is a little thicker and a little tougher than that piece of hardwood we had, even though it is pine. Just a little bit thicker of a guy. That lock is holding up pretty good. Like, no issues there. Still fine. As you can see, there's still no blade play in this guy. No rattle. Action still works pretty good. Huh, okay. I don't, this isn't even appropriate. I don't want to do this, but for the sake of science, we have to, I suppose. Bushcraft science, that is. See if this guy goes. Jeez. If this goes to break, I'm going to stop, because I actually want to keep this knife, but this is, it's not breaking, but it's having a hard time getting through this guy. Well, then again, it's also tamarack, so that makes sense. Oh. I can't believe that that little pocket knife actually just did that. No blade play. See, check the action. Still snappy. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Man, that thing is still just razor sharp. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, that's my freshly shaved arm, I guess. Let's see how it feathers, or it makes shavings rather. That's actually really, really slicey. That's actually super good. I mean, just for a couple of seconds and it goes up, like. But for a true test, let's see how it actually holds up, makes a fire. Let's see if this guy shoots. I'm not sure, I've never, wonder if it's, yeah, we'll see. It's not the greatest for that, but you can always sharpen a spine up on a knife. And we got fire. Honestly, guys, I'm kind of surprised with this little Osborne. Up next, we have the PSK. Let's give this guy a go. All right, and this right here is a PSK. You got your axis lock. You also have this guy right here with the safety, so this doesn't go off in your pocket. And the reason is for that is this is an assisted knife. Now, like that. So if you just touch that guy, it opens. So it's good to actually put the safety on there. I think this is targeted as like a hard use folder. It's got L-Max blade steel, which I'm not actually super familiar with. You got your axis lock. And because it's assisted, the one hand close is kind of an issue, because what ends up happening is when you go to close it, like this, let's say you let go here, it just opens back up because it is assisted. But that is a pretty nice little knife. Well, let's torture test it. I think with this guy, because he's designed to be hard use, we're actually going to start off with this piece here and just see how that does. Like, that's just going right through there. Okay, let's try that same piece, but let's try and go right through the knot, like that big knot right there. Oh, it's getting stuck, but it's not breaking yet. Jeez. This guy reminds me a lot of the Adamas. I had the Adamas forever, and then I lost it in the washing machine in my building, but this guy reminds me a lot of that. Try and hit it right down here. Man, That knot, we went right through it. And no edge problems. Still just super, super sharp. You can see a bunch of hair there. Still shaving. All right, let's go in and see what we can do for shavings here. Not quite as good as the Osborne. You can feel right off the bat because this is like a thicker edge. It's doing it, but the Osborne is definitely a little bit more slicey than this guy. This guy's more used to like super, super hard use, you know what I mean? It's not really designed for fine stuff like making shavings. Honestly, super tough knife, not the best for fine work, I'll just be honest with you there. All right, let's see if we can get a fire going though. Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good spine on that guy. Like, I'm surprised that's not actually already going. Like, that does have probably the best spine we've tested today so far with the feathers for the ferro. This has the best spine we've tested today for the ferro rod. Like, that's actually just awesome. And fire's going, no problem at all there. Action, still good. No complaints. Last up, we have the Mini Crooked River. This is actually from their Hunt series. As you can see with the clip point blade, that actually kind of makes some sense. Nice enough looking knife. It's got the copper, but it also has the micarta, which I think is a good touch on this guy. And as we can see, we got Magna Cut steel. Pretty decent one-hand open and close on this guy. Nice enough knife. Pretty sharp. Let's see if it breaks. Test the lock on this guy. See if it goes. You know, sometimes Benchmade gets a little bit of flack for being as expensive as they are. But I will say this. I've had some pretty expensive knives before break on camera doing exactly this. And honestly, this guy seems super tough. Let's see if it'll go through that knot. I don't think this one will. I think this will end up getting stuck and it won't work just because of how thin and slicey that blade profile is. Because this is more meant to be like a skinning knife than like a crazy hard use knife. But let's give it a go. Yeah, we're getting... Might have to try and do the old... Hey! It went through. And I mean... no blade problems, no issues there at all. See if it still shaves. Oh yeah. Man, I am gonna look so dumb after shooting this video, like with just patches of hair missing off of my arms. But yeah, she shaved. It was good to go. We'll see if this guy, yeah, it does it, but it's not like super good at the ferro rod. See, we can't make some shavings up really quick and see if we can get a fire going with it. I mean, so far the Osborne was definitely the best, but this guy is doing it. Just got to pick maybe a better edge here. It just wants to dig in. Getting those really fine ones is kind of difficult, but it is doing it. Just really wants to dig in there. And the thing with doing like a feather stick is you want it to be light. You don't actually want it to dig in. You want it to just barely catch and then it'll go. But it's actually not doing too bad. Let's see if we'll get a fire lit. I think we will. Yep. And we got fire. All right, so final takeaways. If I had to rank these from my favorite to my least favorite, I think I'm gonna go with the Osborne. The Osborne, honestly, this knife just looks super premier. It has a really nice action and it's fairly sharp. After that, I think I'd have to go, I would go with the Dacian, but I don't actually, like I don't scout carry because it's so hard to get your knife back in the sheath after. And I use my knife so often that Doesn't really make sense for me. Really like the knife. For me, they missed it with the sheath, but because of that, next up, I think I'm gonna go with this guy, the PKM, what is this? PKG? PK, what is this knife? What is this knife called? Sorry, the PSK. After that, the PSK is probably my favorite. This knife actually really surprised me. This is, out of all these knives actually, I'd say this is probably the strongest one, and it's a folder. It went through some pretty hard stuff and it went through easy. No damage to it at all. The only downside about this guy is that you can't really one hand close it. See, you can, but it's a little bit more to it. But super nice knife, super sharp, pretty durable. Definitely going to be seeing more of this around. After that, I'll go with the Dacian because it is a fixed blade, and like, let's be honest, that is just a nice looking knife. Like, that's hard to argue. It's magnet cut steel, and you know, maybe I could rig something up on like a chest rig or like a carabiner or something so I don't have to scout carry it. And last up, I would say is, even though it's a nice knife, I just don't like clip points myself. The Mini Crooked River it's got that old style feel, like an old buck knife almost, but you know, for that, it gets some points in my book, but I'm not a clip point guy. With that said though, that is like a pretty nice looking knife. I don't know, guys. What about you? If you had to rank them from 1 to 4, let's say 1 being the best, 4 being the worst, where do you put them? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the woods.